How does the world of airports look in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020? Hi guys, Shane here, Oz Flight Simulator. In today's video, we are checking out the new Discoveries videos, episode 6, Airports. We'll be dissecting it all to find out everything there is to know about airports in the new sim, as well as searching for all the Easter eggs that the team at 2020 have left behind. In my opinion, in this video, they have dropped a few surprises that even I wasn't expecting, especially around features about making airports, big or small, come to life. So we'll be taking a look at this, and also we'll be taking a look at the tech that they are using to make airports for this new simulator. In today's Discovery episode, Sven Mattis was our hostess with the mostest. He is the lead game designer at Asobo Studios. Sven first talked about the 3 key areas that they will be discussing in this airports episode. First being airport coverage, including all various types of airports geographically and by scale. Then airport treatment pipeline, which is really the tech that they've used to customize the airports and place them in the sim. And lastly, airport life, which is all the services, ground traffic and air traffic in all the airports. So let's jump right into it and talk about airport coverage. In the last Microsoft Flight Simulator, which was FSX, it simulated more than 24,000 airports. And simulator is a good word for it, as most of them were just a mere skeleton of an airport at best. The new Flight Simulator, which will feature all the airports in the world. That's right, all the airports in the world, including 37,000 of them are manually edited airports. The manually edited airports cover a range of bush airstrips to international airports, and geographically you'll find airports from all around the world will be included in this 37,000 manually added airports. They went on and then showcased a bunch of airports from all around the globe, big or small, from North to South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Oceania, and they were all represented, Sven mentioned. And we'll go back and have a look at the Aspen one. I guess this really answers one of my biggest questions. What room will this leave for the third-party airport developers around? And that's pretty easy. Take a look at this Aspen shot. To me, it looks really basic when it comes to the terminal. It looks pretty modular, and I think companies such as Orbex will go and have a field day and could make airports really pop and look amazing as they are in real life. But within saying that, it looks really good for out-of-the-box sort of default airports, but there is room for improvement. So let's move on to the airport treatment pipeline, which is basically the tech that they've used to create and edit these airports. They started off from the FSX collection. They used that as a starting database. Then they decided to go and add more airports to give a better coverage and a larger amount of airports of locations to explore. It's been a long time since we've had FSX, and over the last 10 years or so, we've seen a lot of new airports around the world being born, or some of them closed, unfortunately. So yeah, I guess they needed to go and add some new ones, in my opinion. Sven mentioned they went through some sort of triage selection process, but didn't go into too much detail on what airports made the cut for the manual edit and which ones didn't. But they did end up with editing 37,000 airports from around the globe. I'm really hoping my local airport made it into one of the 37,000 airports, and I would love to hear in your comments below which airport you would like to see in the high detail of these edits for the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. Sven also explained they needed a new approach when it comes to editing these airports to bring them up to a 2020 standard. So they decided to innovate by editing airports from real aerial and satellite pictures from Bing. This process means they had to edit each airport manually, and they had to pay particular attention to the detail that had been given to every single one of them to bring them a step closer to reality. Sven then went through the 3 steps they used to create and edit the airports. Step 1 including tracing the logical elements straight from the Bing aerial maps. Airport parameters, runways, taxiways, apron markings, they even used in real life aircraft parking positions. The second step, Sven talked about defining surfaces. They read the airport materials from the Bing map, such as grass, concrete, dirt, etc., and then they applied an accurate material on top of it. The final step was the post-processing, which was an automatic step performed by their algorithms on what goes where. changing and adjusting colours or adding materials such as tyre marks. The runway slopes had been applied by airport reference charts, and all the taxis and the runway signs, including windsocks, have all been automated and generated. Sven mentioned that the socks are able to follow the wind direction when it changes. Phew, I was starting to get a little bit worried there. If the windsocks weren't following the correct direction, although I do love crosswind landings, they're one of my favourite. There is also 80 airports that have made the very special treatment list, which these were driven by the most wanted airports. They didn't mention where that data was driven from, but they gave these airports more taxiways and signs using the official IDs and providing them with more accurate surface definitions. In the 80 airports, they have also included some iconic airports in their selections. These have been dressed up to reach the new levels of the realism of a flight simulation. So I guess we will see the whole scale of detail airports, ranging from basic to mid to the iconic. The last topic that they spoke about, which I believe is the most innovative in this area of airports, which is airport life. They mentioned that all the airport life will be applied to every airport in the sim according to size. They have even included vehicles in the airport car parking lots and also the vehicles in the airport itself. They have tweaked all the airport vehicle behaviours as they come and go on the taxiways. They now even stop on the hold shorts even if the runway is free. Nothing like an airport vehicle that doesn't like to give way. Yep, we've all had one of those once or twice in the sim. The workers have also been included on the apron, which they move between various points, bringing the airport life to the apron. Services and service vehicles are now accessible from the ATC on a Pacific ground frequency. Bravo! I really like that feature. They have kept the services that were already in FSX, but they've made improvements to all of them. Jetways have new visuals and more realistic way that they attach the doors to fit more precisely to the fuselage. The pushback tugs now feature drivers. The baggage services also have workers, and the baggage carts follow behind them in a trail behavior. They have even updated the fuel services. The fuel trucks will automatically open the fuel panel and touch the hose. GPUs, ramp trucks and catering